Blaise Pascal. It is not certain that everything is uncertain. Friends, today I have taken paradox as the topic of my speech. A paradox is basically a statement or a group of statements that contradicts itself or a situation which seems to defy logic. This was just a simple definition. Sometimes they are just play of words. Some paradoxes don't even have a universal accepted resolution. A famous paradox was presented by an English mathematician in 1913. He took a playing card and wrote on one side of that card, the statement on the other side of the card is true. While on the opposite side of the card, he wrote, the statement on the other side of the card is false. Paradox. A few sentences from life that I come across. Nobody goes to that restaurant because it's too crowded. A paradox. Once a friend sent me an SMS. If you get this message, call me. If you don't get this, don't call me. You all must have heard about that term, nothing is impossible. How? If you say nothing is impossible, it means that it is impossible for something to be impossible, thus contradicting itself. If I say, this statement is false, then it cannot be true and false at the same time. It is a sentence that cannot be consistently interpreted as true or false, because if it is known that it is false, then it must be true. And if it is known that it must be true, then it should be false. If I ask you, is the answer to my question no? Friends, in this case, replying no would be stating that the answer is not no. And if the reply is yes, well, you get the idea, right? If you answer yes, it's stating that the answer would be no. But since the question was answered with a yes, the answer is not no. Let's take one last example. Suppose there is a town with just one barber who is a male. In this town, every man keeps himself clean shaven, and he does so by doing either of these two things, by shaving himself or by going to the barber. Basically, a barber is a man in town who shaves those and only those people who do not shave themselves. All this seems perfectly logical until we pose a paradoxical question. Who shaves the barber? The question is a paradox because if the barber shaves himself, then he must not shave himself.
He's a barber. Yeah.
And if the barber does shave himself, then he should not shave himself. Friends, this is paradox. Thank you.
Any questions? Nothing is impossible paradox.
Well, you see, nothing is impossible, but you're stating that nothing is impossible. It is impossible for something to be impossible, right? That's the paradox. You're contradicting the statement itself.
Why did you choose this topic? I mean, it's very different.
Well, because everything in our life we try to do everything according to logic, and here's something that defies logic.
Couldn't paradox be solved by common sense?
Not exactly, because some paradoxes do have some solutions to the paradox, but these sentences, these are just a group of statements that keeps contradicting itself. It's like a vicious circle of sentences.
Nothing can be asked on paradox.
To give one more example,
one such verbal paradox. Can God create a stone that he cannot lift? Can
Yeah.
God create a stone that he cannot lift? Now, if one were to ask, is God omnipotent? Then your answer should either be yes or no. And if you say yes, and then the second question would be, can God create a stone that he cannot lift?
So even one
And-
more that can a person drown in the fountain of eternal life? I mean, it's fountain of eternal life.
Eternal life. Yeah, so it's similar. It's similar. So whether you give yes or no, it's again a verbal trap. But it is only a paradox associated with language.
इसे use क्या करते
How long was this presentation?
हैं?